Loki, oh, you're such a good boy. You're my little boy. Hey guys, it's Kelsey the Happy Hobbit, and today I am here to talk about 5 books that I really want to read this year. But before I do that, I just want to give a shout out to Ben Sanders, as well as G-Swizzel and Julia that Bookie. As we all know, this craziness has happened with YouTube and their new guidelines and kind of their requirements for being a YouTube partner. And I do find that it impacts channels who are planning to monetize more so than it would mine at the moment. But for those that it does impact, what these 3 booktubers are doing is coming up with prompts for the next 30 days, which is the timeline that we have until these new guidelines go into effect for YouTubers. And they gave us a prompt for each day so that we could be challenged to put out content and to help support each other and really rise up to that bar and really just, you know, be inspired to keep creating content, keep doing what we've always been doing. Like I said, my goal isn't necessarily to monetize anything right now. I just truly enjoy creating content at the moment and interacting with people who do the same. But they did, like I said, come up with prompts for the next 30 days so that if you're able to put out a video every single day, I would go out and look at those prompts on one of their channels. I will link them all down below. And you can kind of find them through that. What I ended up doing was just picking a few of them that kind of made the most sense to me and that I felt were doable for myself. I know I can't put out a video every day, but I am going to sit down and just do a couple of quick ones that I thought were good. So that's what I'm going to do. So go give those 3 booktubers a follow, Ben Sanders, G-Swizzel, and Julia that Bookie. You will not regret it. I think they all give us a great way to find some smaller channels and really keep the root of this booktube community alive. So yeah, go follow them. But what I'm going to do is talk about 5 books that I really want to read this year. Starting with Lockin by John Scalzi. I bought this book a long time ago. This is described as a novel of the near future. And what it's about, I have a feeling it's set kind of in the future, but it's about a contagious virus that pretty much just like travels across the globe. And it's kind of like a plague and it really hits everybody. It says the unlucky 1% will get sick, but they're gonna get this syndrome called Lockin, but they're unable to move or respond to stimulus, or they can't do anything. They're just kind of fully awake and aware of their surroundings when they get sick, but they can't do anything about it, nothing, which is terrifying. If you're claustrophobic, I don't know if this is a book for you. The whole concept of this is that this lock-in syndrome happens after people get sick, and way down the line, there's a crime that takes place. I mean, I don't know if it's murder or what. Yeah, it was murder. But the person who they suspect is the murderer has something to do with this lock-in syndrome. The suspect is an integrator who is someone who can let the locked in borrow their bodies. So basically, whoever they think this murderer is may not be the murderer at all. Like, it could have been another person that took over their body. And I don't know, it just sounds like a mind fuck, to be honest. But I'm really into that. I'm into kind of like crime stuff from time to time. I think it's pretty interesting. I did an awful job of explaining that book. So literally, I would just go look at this and read the back. That's why a synopsis exists. Next book. I actually picked this up because Ben Sanders had this on his channel as something that he was going to read, and I didn't even know it existed. And it is Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. And I freaking love her. Like, spirit animal. She's so cool. Like, she just seems like the chillest person. And I know I like watched her in movies and stuff, and I think she's super cool on that. and Pitch Perfect is my jam. Talks about her life and how she got to where she is, and what inspired her, and kind of a peek into her life, which I think is cool because she seems like a pretty down-to-earth girl, and I don't know, it seemed like it'd be a book that you'd read but feel like you're talking to a friend. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I don't ever really read biographies. Ever. So I figured she'd be a fun one to read. So thank you, Ben Sanders, for the recommendation on this. The next one is The Psychopath Test, A Journey Through the Madness Industry by Jon Ronson. And I have actually already started reading this. It's what I'm currently reading, actually. I'm not too far into it, but this really caught my attention because abnormal psychology was one of my favorite classes that I took when I was in college. And something about the human mind is just so fascinating to me. Like, what makes people do the things that they do? But it follows this guy, Jon Ronson, who I know he's done, like, a lot of stuff. Dude, his works include The Men Who Stare at Goats. I didn't know that. Okay, so he's like a big deal. But basically, I don't know if she's a scientist or what, but somebody seeks him out because she's some kind of accomplished person, whether she's a scientist or a physicist, I don't even know. But she seeks out this guy, Jon Ronson, because she's received this strange package that doesn't really have an answer. It's from a total different part of the world, and it's just a very mysterious package that she gets. But she finds out that a bunch of other people have received the same exact package. So they contact Jon Ronson to help them try and figure it out. And from what I understand, he tries to figure out, where this thing came from. But a lot of this is him investigating people who do weird, quirky things and if it actually contributes to being a psychopath, I think. He just kind of like meets a lot of people and kind of dives into the history of psychopaths and diagnosis and treatments and what makes somebody a psychopath. Basically, he's pretty much like searching out the insane, which I think is kind of cool because that stuff has always fascinated me. Yeah. Psychopaths. Next book. I know nothing about this book, but this is Legend by Marie Lu. I just finished reading Warcross by Marie Lu, and I loved it. So I just thought it made sense to get another book by her. And this one, I know that I think it's like a political dystopian something fiction. I have no idea. But it says, from different worlds, June and Day have no reason to cross paths until June's brother is murdered and Day becomes the prime suspect. In a shocking turn of events, the two uncover what has really brought them together and the sinister lengths to which their country will go to keep its secrets. So it kind of sounds like a suspense dystopian. Ooh, the writing is interesting in this. It's like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like gold, just like the cover. So I just really liked Marie Lu's style of writing, so I just figured I'd enjoy this too, and it looks like it is a trilogy. So that'll be fun. The last book was another recommendation, I think from Ben Sanders. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw this on Ben's channel. And this is Everless by Sarah Holland. And I don't know if this is a new book or what, but I found it. It's kind of like there's the rich and the poor, in one of those types of books. And the rich are obviously controlling everything, but they also control time. There's a girl named Jules, who were once servants to these richer people. There's some kind of accident. There's an accident that happens, and now Jules is trying to earn more time. So I'm assuming that because the rich control time, you need time to live, and I'm assuming they can take that away and therefore end your life. So it looks like she's fighting for time, comes across a lord who is part of the rich family. So many things. So many things. I literally just bought this last night. Have no idea what it's about, but it looks really cool. And the cover is sweet. Like, it has like the crown with the palace in there, but it's one of those, is it Hourglass? Is that what it's called? The thing with the sand. But yeah, I'm awful, I feel like, at explaining books. Awful. Those are the 5 books that I really want to read this year, along with so many more, but those are just the 5 that I picked out kind of randomly, in no specific order. You know, I'm working on the psychopath test right now, so I'm going to finish this up, you know, hopefully in the next couple weeks. Maybe I'll have a better, like, recap of this and I can do a little review on it or something, because this kind of stuff just really does interest me. I think I just have to finish it before I can, you know, verbalize anything about it. What are words? But yeah, that's it for today. 5 books that I really want to read this year. Thank you to Ben Sanders, G-Swizzel, and that Bookie for kind of putting together this Strike Back video-a-thon, I believe they're calling it. Even though mine isn't really in order with the days, I did really like the prompt, so that is why I did it. And the other thing that we'd like to do is to mention a small booktuber at the end of all of these videos to kind of give that recognition where it's due. And the person that I'd like to mention is Rebecca over at Hummingbird Books. She is just the sweetest, sweetest person to interact with. And she just feels like such a calming, she has this calming energy that when she talks about books, like, you just feel relaxed and chill. And I like that she reads a lot of romance books, because that's not something that I really read all that much, and it's not something that I tend to see on BookTube all that often. So I think it's cool to have her perspective, and she's just so supportive. She has been probably since like my first week on BookTube. So please go give her a subscribe to her, go give her some love, some support, because I think everybody here on BookTube deserves it. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate you being here. Give this a like or a comment or subscribe if you're not already. And this Happy Hobbit will catch you later. Bye! Why can't I end these things? I don't know how to do these. Some people are like, wah! I'm just gonna sit here and say bye. So bye! And this Happy Hobbit, don't you forget about me. Don't you? Anyway, I don't know words, which is funny for someone who reads so much. I don't know what I'm even trying to say.